as well. And that could be an issue because Rutgers last year, Dalton, was 108th in pass blocking grade and basically has the same offensive line as last year. So you have a quarterback who really struggles under pressure and a bad offensive line in terms of protecting the quarterback. That could spell trouble for Rutgers in terms of throwing the ball this upcoming season. But tell me more about it.
Okay, PFF ranks Rutgers' offensive line where? Let's get to it. So PFF, this is why they drive people absolutely crazy. We all kind of look to see where a player may stand to get a general sense. But PFF recently on a podcast ranked Rutgers' offensive line as one of the worst in the country. 108th, I believe, even though they were tied for 11th in least amount of sacks allowed. And the teams in front of them, service academies that really don't pass the ball a lot. Out of Power 5 programs, they had Oregon and Washington near the top in the top 10 as well, which kind of makes sense because they're really good teams. But also, the Pac-12 really doesn't play much defense. And nobody's defense actually scares me in the Pac-12. Nonetheless, PFF says the combination of Ethan Kaliakmanis and Rutgers' poor offensive line is going to be a reason that they struggle. Now, to be fair, they did have some good things to say. The pass defense, they said, it's actually how they started off their episode by saying, defense remains the same. It's going to be a good defense. The pass defense in particular will be very good. And then they flipped to the passing game being a problem. We all know about our issues with accuracy in the passing game. Coach Yano kind of maybe surprised a little people during Big 10 days, saying how during camp it wasn't even close that Ethan Kaliakmanis was just far better than Gavin, which a lot of us thought, okay, we didn't expect that. Thought it was a little better and more accurate and can make the easier passes, which is big if you can move the sticks. Nonetheless, PFF said under pressure, Ethan Kaliakmanis' grade is a 38.9, and he had a 58% pass efficiency. Combine that with a 10 being ranked 108th in pass blocking. After a year, this is where PFF grades they get lost in the weeds. Do we really care about foot placement, hand placement, as long as the quarterback is being protected? Okay, maybe you allow some pressures, but if you can keep the quarterback upright, that's the primary goal. That's the primary thing. And with Gavin, he kind of liked to take off and run, although last year he probably should have done a little more than he did. Nonetheless, PFF thinks that we're going to be the same team. We'll have a good defense, solid defense, good pass defense, and our passing game with Ethan is not going to be much improved. And anybody who's watched, Ethan Kaliakmanis and Gavin Wimsatt understand that ball placement and accuracy, despite what the stats might have said with Ethan at Minnesota last year, new players, new coaches, new system, new everything, he's going to be better at the short to medium range passes for sure, and also he's going to be more accurate on the deep ball. So I'm not really worried about that. As long as he can manage the game, yes, be a game manager, but have the arm strength to get the ball downfield. The other outrageous thing that PFF has added a mainstream on is picking Rutgers to have a 6-6 record again. They feel they're the same team. Now, of course, that's possible, and if the bad luck of the injury bug continues to haunt us, that might be a bit of a problem, although our depth this year, far superior than it's been in the past couple of years. Very confident in our depth. Nonetheless, you never know what happens during the year. So a 6-6 record is typical kind of PFF stuff. They did have some positive things to say about Rutgers. And of course, Kyle Monangai, they have rated as their 7th highest graded running back in the country. And also, kind of, well, we know about his potential, but they grade Aaron Lewis 91.5. Even though there's 10th in the nation, even though there's a lack of productivity in the sack game. Now, here's something where we understand Aaron Lewis is great and he has this huge upside, but maybe the productivity could be a little better than it's been. But yet PFF ranks him as top 10 in the country, despite having the lack of productivity. And it's kind of odd because we're waiting for Aaron Lewis to break out and be that guy and work his way into a first-round pick. And we keep waiting for that, waiting for that, waiting for that. And if you have a high PFF grade, maybe an NFL team will pick up on that and say, hey, he gets good pressure. But he's going to have to be able to finish up the play, get the sacks. His run grade, it's funny because he's a lot like Bryce Huff, who left the Jets to go to the Eagles. Against the run, his grade was only a 59. But if you're looking to, and I feel there's room for improvement there, but if you want Aaron Lewis to do what you want him to do, and that's rush the passer and get him on the ground. And, getting back to the running backs for a second, with Kyle this year having to be one of the leaders to lead the Big Ten in rushing, we're going to have a little bit different rushing attack. So we're going to lose almost 500 yards in rushing from Gavin Wimsatt. That's no matter what we think about that, that's going to be big. So where do we make up those yards? 8th in it. I don't know where people are saying he's not as mobile as we think he is. He's pretty mobile. Will he get 497 yards like Gavin? Probably not. But if he gets 300, 350, 400, that'll keep defenses honest. And then what are we going to do with Sam Brown and Jayshon Benjamin? They can pick up the slack of Gavin's yards and then some. That'll definitely help the running game, and it'll help provide better balance between the passing and the running attack, because it's not a one-dimensional running attack where it's just Kawanunga, and then on 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, 4th and 1, 4th and 2, it's Gavin Wimsatt. We have some options there, and within increased options, I know Coach Shiano is worried about using Kyle too much, but here's the dichotomy with that. And you're going to be caught between a rock and a hard place, because Kyle is one of those guys, he breaks tackles, he gets stronger as the game goes on. And PFF says that Kyle had 881 yards after contact last year. That's 3/4 or 2/3 of his total rushing yards. 4th in the nation in missed tackles. So we're going to have to find that balance. Yeah, we want to spell Kyle somebody's really effective as the game goes on, breaking tackles, defense gets tired, missed tackles. So there we have it. PFF has some really crazy stats for Rutgers, and then ones that are a little more favorable. And last bit of business with Desir Carter. Richie and Mike on the Night Report were talking about him on a recent podcast, and his commit list. Once again, Desir, 6 foot, 180 pounds. He'll grow closer to 6'1", 6'2", 200 pounds by the time he gets to Rutgers. number 2. See, the number 2 or number 4 recruit out of Virginia, a number 88 nationally, number 12 receiver. Once again, who did we beat out? We beat out Penn State. We beat out Michigan. We beat out Maryland. We beat out South Carolina, beating out SEC teams. So, really good get. He's going to add some explosiveness and some separation and some great game-breaking ability. Also plays running back, another guy that has some versatility. So just wanted to follow up a little bit on that. We talked about Isaiah a little bit the last time. Everybody enjoy your week. We'll see you the next time. And looking forward to these next few weeks leading up to game number 1.